So this is part B of probably a four-part series on building a Raspberry Pi controller. In the first part, part A, we created the Raspberry Pi that we're going to be using for the project. In this part B, we're going to add the specific application softwares that we need to make this work as an imagery and video display capability. So please enjoy. The next step is to install the software packages that I need to do my video and imagery displays uh, for the sexy girl screen. Initially, I used VLC, which is already installed on this default build, which shows both images and um, videos. However, for some reason, VLC does not um, understand when I turn the screen into portrait mode. It still has a background that's landscape mode that it tries to set into this portrait mode screen, so the images and stuff don't line up with the monitor, and it's very confusing. There may be a fix for that, I don't know, but I found a couple of other applications, one that does video and one that does images. The images one is called FEH. Unfortunately, there is not an easy way to access it with a Python script, so I have to actually kick off an operating system subcommand and run this like as its own thing in the background and then kill it when I want the image to go away. It works, and I'll show you guys all of that later on. And I'm drawing a blank right now as to the name of the video displayer. It's something like OBX or something. So I just checked, and that player is OMX player that I need to install. Now, OMXplayer itself is already installed in the Raspbian software, but there is a piece of connective tissue needed to hook it up to Python that is not installed, so I'll have to install that. And I also need to install FEH. So let's start by installing FEH. Sudo. And FEH is a pretty neat little image viewer slideshow player. It's used for a lot of Raspberry Pi slideshow type things. If you want to make a picture frame or something like that, it's a great tool for that. Okay, so that's got that installed. Now I need to go get that OMXplayer player or something like that. I forget exactly what it's called. I need to look it up. Give me just a second. Okay, I pulled the OMXplayer wrapper up to show you the instructions that are on the website. Now, according to these instructions, it says that it has a couple of dependencies you have to load, libdbus-1 and libdbus-1-dev. libdbus-1 does not install, but libd1-dev does. So these instructions aren't quite right. So I'll have to just install the -dev. And then I use pip3 since I'm using Python 3 to install the OMXplayer wrapper. And that's pretty much all you need to do to then be able to access that from Python. So let me move this out of the way, and I will put in those commands. So if I don't have any typos, that should install that. Okay. Okay. So that has the OMXplayer wrapper installed, and what the wrapper does, it's like an API that lets you communicate with Python code and run the uh, video player, so you can start and stop videos, look and see how much they've played, and stuff like that. And I use a few of those features in the code, which I will show you a little later to run the system. So now I believe that all of the software has been installed uh, on this Raspberry Pi so that I can use my Python script and my files to play the stuff. So I need to bring the files over, the video files and images that'll get played, and I have them on an SD card. I'm just going to plug them in and copy them into the directory they need to be in, and I will also get a copy of the Python code and bring that over and stick it on here. And I'm not going to record all of that. I'll just bring you back and show it to you once it's all installed. But pretty much I have them on SD cards. I'm going to plug them in the SD slot, drag them over to a file. I'll be right back. Okay, really quickly, I want to show you what I've done. If I bring up my directory here, you can see that I've created a directory called Sexy Girl Media, and underneath that is a set of other directories. There is the Attract directory, which has the one Attract video in it. There are a bunch of other directories. This PG isn't actually used. I just need to clean it up. But anything that ends with a P has pictures in it, and anything that ends with a V has videos in it. And so we have PG pictures and PG videos. By the way, there are no PG videos. This game doesn't have a mode that would get to a PG video. By the time you get to a video mode, you're already in R. So there's R-rated pictures and R-rated videos, X-rated pictures and X-rated videos, and triple X-rated pictures and triple X-rated videos. So so that's the directory structure. And if I just pop open one of these, you'll see that there's a bunch of pictures in there. Of course, I can't show them to you here, but there are pictures there. Then the other thing that I've brought over is a few of my scripts. Now, the script that I'm actually running is called Sexy Girl OMXplayer.py. And let me bring up the Bonnie IDE, which is a Python IDE. And you can see I've already got the program loaded in here. And I'm going to walk you through that in just a moment. But before I do that, I want to show you one other thing. So if I bring open my directory again, and I go to devices, which is right there, the dev directory, And I come down here at the end of the TTYs. You got TTY 63, and then you got this TTY AMA0. I think that's the Bluetooth connection, if I'm not mistaken. When I plug in this Raspberry Pi, remember I told you that this did not work underneath the 3B Plus. When I plug this into any of the ports on my Pi 3B, you can see it creates a TTY ACM0. And that's the standard. Now, if I would plug a second one in, it would create an M1. But anyway, it creates an M0. And like I said, regardless of which port I plug it into, it still creates that M0. And that's the way you get data in and out of this, this device. And for some reason on the Pi 3 Plus, that didn't happen. So that's it for part B. Thanks for watching, guys. In part C, we're going to take a look at the actual Python script that I use to monitor the state of the LEDs on the pinball machine and convert that into appropriate videos to display on our little video monitor. So if you're interested in the code, take a look at that. Otherwise, you can go to part D where I wrap up this project. So thanks again for watching.